Hello guys and welcome to a new YouTube channel for the 26-27 season. My name's Dean and I'm hoping this season to sort of react to Newcastle United football games. So whenever Newcastle play within the following couple of days, I'm looking to get a video out just to sort of talk about the game, understand the game, pick out players that stood out for me, players that maybe didn't perform. I look at the manager's tactics. I don't claim to be a tactical master, far from it. I'm very much your average Joe football fan who likes to watch football at home or down the pub with his mates and then chat about it. So ultimately, that's what this channel will be about. I currently live out in Spain. I'm out here for another 2 years. I've been here for 1 year, got another 2 years left out here. So I cannot speak as much to sort of friends and colleagues about English football as I would in the UK. So this is kind of my sounding board. If no one watches it, then that's fine. I don't care. If you do watch it and enjoy it, then obviously give me a like and subscribe to the channel. But it's purely about me being able to speak about football, get things off my chest to a screen, vent when it's frustrating, celebrate when it's going well, and hopefully people might watch and enjoy it along the way. We shall see. So I currently live in Albacete. A little bit about me. Live in Albacete, sort of south east of Spain. Just this season, got a season ticket for Albacete, so I will be attending Albacete games. Obviously, this channel is predominantly about Newcastle United, but I might squeeze the odd video in about Albacete at some point, or just mention their results as we go along the season. Keep an eye on how they're getting on. But as I say, it'll be mainly based on Newcastle United. Being a Newcastle fan all my life. I had little choice when I was younger. My dad is a Newcastle United fan, told me that I would be, so I am. And the rest is history, as they say. Starting these vlogs at a bit of a time of turmoil for the club, let's say. So obviously we've had the recent departure of Eddie Howe, which was surprising in its timing. I wouldn't say it was surprising overall. I think the writing was on the wall for Eddie Howe, especially towards the end of last season. I think there was growing discontent within the fans. And it surprised me that he didn't go at the beginning of summer. So at the end of the season, beginning of summer, I'm very much surprised that he didn't go then and didn't make this decision then. I think that the loss of key players and the looming loss of Bruno Guimaraes to Arsenal probably tipped her over the edge. That's my sort of feeling. If Bruno would have stayed, as I speak now, Arsenal have apparently agreed around £75 million deal for Bruno. For me, it's on the low side. However, do we want an unhappy player around the camp? Other players know he doesn't want to be there. The manager, the owners probably know he really doesn't want to be there. Is his heart in it? Does that impact his performances on the pitch? Maybe, possibly, potentially. You look at Gordon when his head got turned and his performances dropped off when that Liverpool deal was sort of first spoken about. It definitely affected his performances then. So I think that it's probably, as much as it hurts emotionally and from a point of view of performances might suffer, I think logically it is the right move. I don't blame Bruno. He's probably doubling his wages. He's going to a club that have just won the Premier League. Probably have a chance of winning the Premier League again. definitely have a chance of progressing in the Champions League. So I think that he's a great signing for Arsenal at this moment in their sort of evolution as champions. I think he can push them on even further. There's talk of Vinicius Junior. If they brought him in as well, I think Arsenal are a real force next season. Not just in the Premier League, but in Europe. So that could be in the pipeline, but we'll see. But from a Newcastle perspective, 75 million, as I say, it's a little low. I would have liked to have seen maybe 85, more than 80. But it's not to be. We've got 75. It's a big fee for a player that's of his age, sort of coming to the end of his career. I mean, he's still in them peak years at the minute, but he is going to start to decline in the next couple of years. So I think from a financial point of view, especially with the sort of UEFA regulations that we've just agreed to, it's the right time to get the money for him and cash in for him. Could it have been done better? I think yes. I think the transfer strategy and overview could have been managed a lot better. To lose Gordon, Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes in the same window isn't great. Especially when you look at the fact that we haven't really signed top quality first team replacements. Lots of young talent, young exciting talent to go along with the young exciting manager. But ultimately, you look at the squad and we are a lot weaker than we were at the end of last season, in my opinion. And it's a big job now for Ysel to pick this group up, integrate these youngsters, develop the youngsters, coach them into better players. And ultimately, for the club, a big reset on where we are strategically, the long-term vision. I think this Vision 2030 now really has to be addressed. I think if Hopkinson's coming out and still saying that we should be competing for the biggest trophies in world football by 2030, I think, for me, his credibility is absolutely gone if he comes out and says that now. There was a portion of the fan base thinking he was living in cloud cuckoo land when he was saying it before this window, which I probably was one of them. I think that to compete with the top elite clubs in Europe, it's going to take us 10, 15 years of hard work, constant evolution. Not on the pitch. On the pitch isn't the problem. The problem is off the pitch and the PSR rules, the financial restrictions. We just cannot compete until we can close them revenue gaps to the likes of Manchester City, Manchester United, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea. Until we can close that gap, clubs like us, Aston Villa, who have got money to spend and can spend it, but we're not allowed because of the rules, we just will never break into that sort of elite club bracket. And I think it's really about now having a proper long-term vision. I think PIF need to decide if they're in it for the long haul or not. There's talk of their interest sort of dying down a little bit in foreign investment and sport. They pulled out of Live Golf. Does that have an impact on Newcastle United? I don't know. But ultimately, the club really needs to look at a long-term 10, 15, 20-year plan of how they are going to evolve, where they can make gains in the short term, especially when it comes to revenue. I think there's definitely lessons there to be learned this season with the front of shirt sponsor. Very bad look for the club not having a front of shirt sponsor when you release your first kit. and then almost tagging it on to your training ground sponsor. So yeah, that didn't look great from an outside perspective, in my opinion. It didn't look like good business. You'd think these deals would be done way beforehand and they'd be in the pipeline ready to go, but they weren't. Knox is a non-PIF associated business as well, so from that point of view, that's good. We're not relying on PIF. However, at the same time, PIF should be there and should be able to support us, like when they stepped in with Seller this season. Could they have done the same with another company? Who knows? But as it is, we've got Knox. The deal, Hopkinson has said it's a huge deal. It's the biggest deal, or the revenue from the deal has increased. However, there's speculation around that because it looks like he's including the money from the training ground in that deal as a whole. So when you actually break it down, the front of shirt sponsor is way less than we were getting with Seller, because the original sponsorship deal was for the training ground. What's been added on top for the front of shirt sponsor, he's sort of tied that into the one deal, so made it sound like it's worth more than it is, because actually that's two separate deals. It's for the training ground and it's for the front of shirt sponsor. So clever sort of politician-like speak to try and make things sound better than they are. But as I say, I think this season is exciting. It's nerve-wracking. It's going into the unknown. Can Ysel and this group of players compete at Premier League level and survive? I think they should be able to, especially when we talk about survival. There's a few people in the fan base talking about relegation. I really don't think we'll be bad enough to go down. Possibly we have a West Ham-like season, Spurs-like season, not quite as bad as Spurs last season, where we are maybe in and around that conversation towards the end of the season, but I don't think we'll be in serious danger. I think there's 3 worse teams than us in the Premier League. I hope there's 3 worse teams than us in the Premier League, because I cannot think about even contemplating relegation and what that would look like for the club. It would be disastrous. So we'll see how we get on. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, after every game, I'll be releasing a new video where I talk about that game, look at it from just a sort of normal fan point of view, try and analyse a little bit of what happened in the game, look at the tactics, look at the manager's system, what he's doing, what he's trying to do, whether the players are doing it. And then each week we'll continue analysing each game as it comes, and then hopefully at the end of the season we'll be in for a nice surprise when we finish top half, maybe even scrape that final Europa Conference League spot. Who knows? Who knows? But like I say, if you want to stick around for the videos and you want to see my nonsense analysis every week, then hit that subscribe button, get involved, drop a comment into the comments box, let me know what you think of my idea of analysing these videos. Let me know if you want me to speak about anything else. If there's big news stories come out, I might potentially do some kind of instant reaction videos to big news stories, especially at the minute. The transfer market and the transfer window is still open. Maybe we'll make some big signings. Maybe we'll have a real sort of marquee signing that we bring in. At that point, maybe I'll do a video on that and look at who the new signing is, try and find out a little bit about them. There's some exciting links at the minute. We'll see whether anything comes of those, and as I say, if they do, then potentially we'll have a instant reaction video to a nice big signing that might give us that bit of a lift pre-season going into that Liverpool game. And as I say, quietly optimistic, slightly nervous, but looking forward to seeing how this season goes. I will be in Valencia this weekend on Saturday, so obviously I'll be doing a video then. I might do a little match day vlog showing what myself, my son and my wife do that morning in the build-up to the game. Bit of coverage of the game and my reaction to the game. So that vlog will probably be out on Sunday or Saturday night. The game here kicks off at 9, so it's quite late. By the time the game finishes, it'll probably be Sunday. I'll try and get something out then, sort of a little match day vlog of us attending the game, how it went, and then afterwards a little bit of analysis on Yice's first game in charge. So again, as I mentioned before, if you do want to be involved, you do want to stick around and see some more of these videos, please subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you want me to talk about, if there's any other subjects you'd like me to cover, and then we'll go from there. But thank you very much for taking the time, if you're still watching, for watching this video, and I will see you guys this weekend post Valencia away. Up the Mags.